It's time for Where You Live with Gene and Tony, the show that's all about owning, buying, selling, renting, and association management. If it involves a home, we'll talk about it. Here's your chance to get your homeowner questions answered. From the Concierge Landscape Studios, here's Gene and Tony.
Needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs.
Good morning and welcome once again to Where You Live with Gene and Tony. I'm Gene Sullivan.
And I'm Tony Crockett.
Hi, Tony.
Hi.
And we've got, the topics we're going to talk about today. Let's see. We've got defamation of character, death by alligator, homeowner associations can expect higher dues, and people blaming one another for who's got more responsibility. I guess it's just life as normal in a homeowners association.
I guess so. Although that alligator, that's a different twist.
Yeah, not so much here.
Not so much in Minnesota.
Yeah, so we're so glad that you could be a part of the show with us today. And so let's go ahead and just dig right in.
All right.
With property management in the news. Property management in the news, of course, is brought to you by Pest Control Services. When you need to get rid of unwanted pests in your home or rental property, probably not alligators, though.
But if you did
yes,
have an alligator,
he would probably know, he would know who to call. You would want to call someone who's responsive, professional, and a proud member of Angie's List. That person, Greg Keener. His number, 952-894-9748, Pest Control Services. Tell Greg you heard his ad right here on Where You Live. Well, our first story comes from out of the state of Texas, and it's family safety versus HOA rules. And this took place just earlier this week. Apparently, folks, there is a homeowners association called Mission Bend with 270 patio homes. They all look exactly alike, the same brick walls surrounding each property, except for one homeowner. His name is Van True. You see, Mr. True knocked down the brick wall in front of his patio home and replaced it with a wrought iron fence. He said, "I think it's right of a homeowner to feel safe in his home." Now, True's home is the only one in the neighborhood without the brick wall, and of course the association is extremely unhappy about that. They requested that I put the brick wall back to its original form, True said. Now, why did Mr. True replace part of the brick wall in front of his home with wrought iron fence? He said it was for security reasons. He said, "We had a bunch of break-ins, vandalism, as well as burglaries on the street." And True showed a police report that was that he had from May when his car was burglarized. He said there was another incident, and I think this is the one that kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back, was involving his 15-year-old daughter. He said that she went walking through the entrance, and there was a man hiding behind the wall, and that's when he got upset. And so that's why he wanted to take this action and make these changes. True said, this has been very expensive. He said, "I had to borrow money from family, and I still haven't paid it back." But he said, this is how important it is. Now, True, though, is looking at even a bigger financial hit because of the homeowners association. His first mistake, according to the HOA, was he didn't submit construction plans to the Mission Bend Architectural Committee for them to review. Mr. True admits that he didn't do this. He said, "Honestly, at the time when my family was in danger, I felt I was in danger. It wasn't the first thing that crossed my mind." He said, "I apologized formally to the association for that." But apparently, True's HOA doesn't want his apology. They want the brick wall put back. And they're giving him 90 days. And so this, in a nutshell, is is the story. And we have someone who is, folks, on the line with us this morning, who also commented about this this story with reporters in Texas when I think it took place a little bit ago. Folks, we want to welcome back to the Where You Live with Gene and Tony lines Ms. Harvella Jones, who's the president of the National Homeowners Advocate Group. Hello, Harvella.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Thanks for joining us again.
Oh, that's quite all right, Tony. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Sure.
So this story, we got this online. Harvella, it said it looked like it came out October 17th, or it probably was the news feed that we got on the internet. When did this story first break, or did you hear about it?
Actually, well, he's a member now, but he had filed a complaint with the group, and so I knew about it before the story hit. In fact, I contacted the reporter to see if he would be interested in airing it, because it's such a unique situation. I'm quite sure there are other homeowners in not only in this state but in other states that may be having the same situation, that are locked into these deed restrictions, and something occurs like this, and it puts them in a dilemma, where they have to make a choice between safety or the HOA.
How? Tell me, Harvella, what about, though, why couldn't he have just submitted a plan to the HOA before he took action?
Well, it's one of these things that, when your life is possibly being threatened, and you've already sustained some type of loss through, property or some burglary situations that happened to him already, you don't really think about, okay, well, let me go and file this with the HOA and see if it's okay. I mean, it's like something you have to think of pretty fast. It's like, say, for instance, maybe this is just another comparison. I'm just talking about the something that involves a person's life. If you see someone about to drown in a HOA pool, and you're going to have to do something that may damage the property in the process of saving that person, you're not going to say, well, maybe I should go file something before I go save this person. I mean, it was a quick, one of these quick decisions.
Okay, what I hear you saying then, it was because it was so immediate. It was the immediacy that justifies him not following the association regulations.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, see, I would wonder about that, Harvella, myself, because the process I think that one has to get, number one, I would imagine he probably talked to a number of contractors, so that took some time. He probably didn't just accept, maybe he did, but I would assume he probably scheduled several contractors to come and give him quotes and bids. I would imagine the city would probably still require that permits be pulled before work is done. And so we're talking about submitting something to get approval probably with the city. If a person, and I guess I would agree with Tony here, if someone goes through that process with the city, why not also ask them to go through that process with their homeowners association? Because that is a part of their promise of what they said that they would do when they entered in the HOA to begin with.
Well, I've looked at the deed restrictions, and a lot of times on these, when you have these various requests, they kind of sit on these requests for longer than 30 days. They don't really immediately respond to them, especially if it's something they really are against.
But Harvella, we don't know that would have happened in this incident because the HOA never had the opportunity to consider it, right?
Okay, well,
so we don't know that would have happened.
That's usually what does happen. I'm just saying, based on these statistics that I have, that's usually how long it takes. They don't really immediately agree or disagree on something. But in his particular instance, he had already done this when he contacted our organization. He had been burglarized, his car twice, and he had a police report, and the police department suggested that he take the wall down. I've been out there. The wall is very close to the his house, where there's not a lot of room where you would have time to react if someone actually jumped over that wall or came up at the door. Would kind of got him going is that when his daughter, his 15-year-old
Sure.
daughter, exited the door,
Sure.
there was someone standing there, and there's no reason. It's a cul-de-sac. There was no reason for anyone
Sure.
to be standing
I don't
there.
doubt. I don't doubt that there was problems here, and I would totally freak out if that happened to my daughter as well. My argument is that doesn't justify breaking the rules. You know what I'm saying? I think you still need to follow your process. And I think Gene makes a good point. There would have been a process involved if he had notified the HOA or if he didn't notify the HOA. What bothers me is this total disregard for the HOA, who is there to protect all the members.
Well,
and not just one.
Yeah, no, Tony, here's a situation that sounds really good in conversation. But if the HOA, this particular HOA, was that concerned about the safety of their homeowners, they would take some of the money that they get and they would supply that community with a patrol, because that's what a lot of them do.
Okay, but we don't know that didn't happen. We don't know if the HOA was even aware of these incidents. I'm just saying.
I tell you one thing. I'll tell you.
I know.
Excuse me, folks. I tell you one thing we do know. It's time for a break. Harvella, could you hang on to another segment with us? Great, folks.
Okay, sure.
We're speaking with Harvella Jones, who's the president of the National Homeowners Advocate Group. We're talking about this story in Texas. We're going to talk more with Harvella after these messages.